Once you can figure out how to overcome those hurdles, once you can figure out how to solve those problems, and you are excited, you're like, oh, another problem came up. Okay, cool. You're like, let's go in. I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's do it. Like, once I solve this, it's going to unlock more doors. It's going to unlock more opportunities. It's going to unlock more things for me. It's going to unlock more success for me, but not just for me, for the people around me, because I can show them how to do that too. I am taking you on a journey of revival in my life and the life of others, and hope that your life will be revived in the process. Hey, what is going on, guys? So we are back with the third episode of the Revival Couple podcast, and I'm just super excited for this moment because as I was pondering life and pondering thoughts, I realized that a big stepping stone that I was able to overcome and accomplish was being able to solve more problems. So I realized that, to be honest, like, everything in life is accomplished better when you are able to maneuver past the difficulties, maneuver past the problems that are presented in your life each and every day. And so today we're just going to be talking about that. We're going to talk about how you can solve more problems and how solving more problems can ultimately help you make more money, but it can really just overall change the course of your entire life. So that is super, super crucial to me, is seeing everyone go out there, be able to revive their life. And I really think solving more problems will help you do that. But real quick, we're going to take a moment to thank our sponsors. So many people want to start a business, but don't know how. Our mission is to help you discover and live your passion by architecting a profitable business that delivers incredible value to the market and profits to you. Step one is to discover. You're going to work with a coach one-on-one to discover what has held you back until now. You're going to set new goals and explore suitable opportunities to design and finance the lifestyle you want. There's going to be 3 different avenues you can go down. The first one is direct sales and affiliate marketing, where you can get paid $30 to $3,000 per sale in commissions. The second avenue is lead generation for businesses, where you can learn how to start your own agency and deliver targeted leads to hungry businesses. You will get paid $2,500 to $5,000 per month per paying client. And the third thing is to earn 100% passive income. And you can do this by investing into a done-for-you, hands-off e-commerce store managed by us. Step 2 is commit. With the help of your coach, you can choose the path that is most aligned with what you want to do. Step 3 is train. In addition to step-by-step training inside the custom ACE marketing sales system, you'll get personal mentorship from your sponsor and team leader, Facebook mastermind support groups, multiple live weekly calls, and live events all over the world. Step 4 is to succeed. Phase 1 is to earn revenue. Build a digital business that supplements your current income and gives you breathing room. Phase 2 is growing wealth. Create multiple streams of revenue. Transition to a full-time entrepreneur with security. And phase 3 is investment on investment. Bills paid, debt-free, and your money is making more money while you enjoy time freedom. If this interests you, go to therevivalcouple.com to get started now. You'll need to put in your name and email address to get access to your free web class now. That is therevivalcouple.com to get started now. All right, and we're back. So I just want to take you to the place where all this started, because I did not think about how solving more problems would actually be the number one thing that led me to create a business, that led me to be an entrepreneur. And so where it all started was when I was younger. I would have to do multiple different things. So in high school, I would have to go to music lessons. So that would be trumpet lessons for me at the time, which is kind of funny looking back, but I would have to go to school, And for our public schools in Oregon and Portland, at least, you would take the public transportation. So I'd take that, come back home, and then I'd have to go home, eat some food real quick, and then hop on the bus again. It would take me an hour and a half to go out there and to go to trumpet lessons. I'd go and do that for an hour, and then I'd take the bus an hour and a half back home. So that's 3 hours round trip, not including the 45 minutes that it took me to get home in the first place. And so I would do that once a week, and I did that for about 6 to 9 months, 6 months to a year time frame. And so that was hard, right? I had to figure out how to manage everything, how to still do homework. And then after I did my trumpet lessons, I still wanted to practice 1 to 2 hours every single day. I was very motivated by playing music. I still am. Hence the reason I'm going into audio engineering, so that I can use all these skills that I've acquired, not only to make the intro soundtrack that you guys hear. I actually created that in FL Studio, but, to also do it full time and to help aspiring musicians to be able to create high quality audio. But not only that, to help out business entrepreneurs trying to get their ads out there, their, all their stuff out there in high quality, their videos, whether it's a podcast, whether it's, just a short clip, like a teaser clip to put on social media. I want to be able to provide the highest quality of audio. So that is why, I'm still trying to do that. I'm still moving in that direction, but each and every day I have to solve a problem to get there. And so, yes, I had to manage all my time. I had to figure out how I was going to do things and how I was going to allow that to give me the time to play music. And so I was doing that, and then fast forward a little bit, when I was 16, I got into some trouble. To be, completely transparent, completely honest with you, the cops were called. They came to my house, and to be honest, I kind of cussed them out at that point in my life, and they took me in. So at that point, I was in a bad place. I was in a place where, one, I couldn't go home because the cops were called on me from, my family, my parents, and two, the second thing was I was just like in a crossroad. School wasn't going well. School was actually going pretty horrible. Why? Because there was multiple different stressors that were happening, and I did not know how to solve the current problems I was in. I was like, I could take this route, I could go another route, I could go in, there's multiple different trails. It's like you're going on a hike and you come to a crossroad and you're like, which way am I supposed to go? I don't know. And so that's where I was. And I just was stuck in that place, in that moment. And it was very hard for me to continuously moving forward when I had no idea where I was going. And so I think that also ties into this very well, is that you have to know where you are going before you can actually do anything. And so I had to solve these problems. I didn't know how. And I got some really, really amazing advice from family friend that was like, hey, what are you doing? He would ask me and I would tell him a bunch of BS. I would tell him whatever I thought wanted to make him feel good. And and he was like, hey, I don't need you to lie to me, right? You can tell me whatever. It doesn't matter to me, right? But the one person you cannot lie to is going to be yourself, right? He's like, because to be honest, what it sounds like is that you are telling everyone else's stuff and it's starting to, you're starting to convince yourself on this lie. He's like, what you need to do is to figure out what it is you're doing and not lie to yourself and go that route. Because no matter if you lie to me, you lie to your parents, you lie to your family, you lie to your friends, you lie to everyone else, your end result is not going to matter to them. Your end result is going to matter to you. So the one person you cannot lie to is yourself. So at that point, at that moment, I was like, okay, he's very right. I took that to heart. And I was pondering where I wanted to go. This ended up having me go into a place where, I lived with a family friend, a really good friend of mine, for about a year and a half so I could graduate high school. And I was able to get it done. I was able to accomplish that. Now, there were a lot of hoops that I had to jump through. There was a lot of problems that I had to solve at that moment to be able to graduate. I had to go to summer school for a little bit and do some online courses so that I could catch up on a couple areas that I was not able to do the year before, because when I got taken into juvie for a little bit, literally I was just there and holding until a family friend bailed me out. And then the cops dropped all the charges because they didn't have any charge. They just had me cussing at them. So it was just, they were just doing it to scare me in a sense. And so they released me, and my school dropped me because I missed too many days. Of course, that moment when I was staying at a family, the friends of the family's house, right? I was only able to be there. I couldn't be at home. All my books and school stuff was there. And I missed days when all that stuff happened for that first day, and the second day waiting to, go to court is what I thought. And then they dropped everything, and there was nothing on my record. So with that being said, it was a huge blessing that, none of that went forward, because that could have affected my life. I saw that moment. I understood that there were issues that I needed to resolve, and I started doing it. First thing was, moving into friend's house and living there for a year and a half, roughly, getting done with school, graduating high school, doing all that, and figuring out how to get all my credits done so that, I wasn't going to be a super senior, as we say, a super senior, which is a 5-year, person who it took to graduate high school. So I didn't want to do any of that. And at that moment, that was really what showed me that as I am able to solve these problems, I'm able to, create more overall success in my life. And so moving forward, fast forwarding, I started working for a pet store, and that pet store was amazing. I really did enjoy it. I learned a lot about animals. I learned a lot about how to take care of animals, the right and wrong way to do it, and, what kind of nutritional stuff they need. So I did learn a lot, but I think from doing all that and dealing with everyone else's pets, I didn't want a pet of my own because I understood it was a lot of work, a lot of money, a lot of training, and just a whole lot of effort that you had to invest into it. And so I never had a pet of my own, but I dealt with everyone else's. And at that moment, I was going to school at a Bible college, and I was working, and I was doing an internship. Now, if you think about that, there's only so much time in the day. I lived in Gresham, Oregon at the time. My school was in Canby, Oregon, which is about an hour drive, 45-minute to an hour drive, if not longer, one way. And so I was spending a lot of time on the road. I'd wake up early, I'd get to school, or I'd at least leave by like 5:36 to be able to be there on time, go to my classes, and I would just go from 8 till about noon, and then I would take a night class if, I could. And those days I just wouldn't work. And then the other days I'd come back and I would work. Or if I only had class from 8 to noon, then I would do that. And then I'd drive back and I would work from 6 to 10, which if you do the math, right, driving back and everything, that only gives me a couple hours to not only take care of chores or, stuff around the house, clean my clothes, help out with some yard work, and do homework. I had to manage everything really well. But at the same time, I still had to pay for insurance. I still had to I still had to take care of like finances. And so it was challenging because my insurance was like almost $300 a month. Gas for the car I was driving was like not cheap. It was very, very expensive. And, uh, and, and like literally, going and doing this stuff for the internship that I was doing, it meant I had to be to church on Sunday super early. I moved and helped set up the church, which was set up at a Boys and Girls Club at the time. And we had to move like pool tables and multiple pool tables. And so it was just very, very, it was a lot of work, let's be honest. And it took a lot to, mentally be in a place where you're not going to burn out or feel like you are hating your life. And so I pushed out that, like my focus was that I was doing this for God. I wasn't doing it for anyone else. I was doing it for the Lord, and I was allowing this time for him to direct me in, the path that I need to go. And so I did that, and that was very, very challenging, right? I was constantly solving problems. I was like, shoot, I don't have enough money to pay everything. How am I going to make more money, take more hours at work? So I'd take more hours at work. And then it got to a moment where, I was able to help out at these events. They were called Event Force shows, and I would personally ride up with the people at Canby Bible College who were literally doing things. They were helping out as a temp agency for this event that Microsoft would do, and so we would work. I would make I don't know, like $1,000 to $1,500 in one weekend. And that would all go towards my tuition so that I didn't have to come out of pocket as much. And my personal money could literally just go to help out, me surviving. Because not only did I live 45 minutes away, which is a lot of gas for the car, I also lived about 30 to 45 minutes away from the church that I was internshipping at, which I'd be there on Saturday. I'd be there on Wednesday. Not Saturday. I would be there on Wednesday, and I'd be there on Sunday, at least those 2 days. And then depending if we're doing anything else throughout the week, I would be there for that. And so it was just a lot of time that was spent there, and there was a lot of stress that was on me. And at this moment, I feel like I was thriving pretty well. But I learned that I need to solve problems. I need to solve them quick. I need to make sure that even if I do make a decision, that it is just being done. Whether it's the wrong decision or the right decision, I'll figure that out later, but I need to solve the problem now. And so that was huge. And just keep moving on with my life. Moving on from there, unfortunately, I was, the internship was terminated. It was, canceled on me. Why? Because I had to go to work and I texted, the personnel last minute. Of course, there were times when I showed up late to help set up church and different things like that. Why? Because I was exhausting my body. I was literally being ran to the ground, and, it's not, giving it an excuse or saying that, I couldn't have done it better. I'm sure I could have done it better, but, I was let go from that internship. And as much as that pissed me off, and as much as, I just really wanted to go up and tell the person off that, was the deciding factor for that, who didn't have enough respect to talk to me in person, man to man, but wanted to just send an email while I was at work and tell me that it was done. As much as that frustrated me, I still had to figure out, one, where I was going to live, two, how I was going to make enough money to survive, and three, how I was going to keep pursuing my, ultimate end goal, which was doing something more. I knew I was destined for something more. I knew I wanted to do something more, but at this moment, I didn't know what it was or how. And so I was just continuously solving problems, which moved on to the next phase, which was actually living in a place on my own. I ended up living with a roommate, and we split bills, and I had to start working or applied for a job um, at Wells Fargo, and that was just really really good. I enjoyed it a lot, but I was working part time, so I had to work there in Petco, and it was just very very challenging. And I was still trying to go to school. I was like, hey, shoot, I'll at least finish my degree if I'm not going to finish this internship since I got kicked out of it. I'll at least finish my degree. And so I tried to do that. And the time comes where it's like, I'm taking on too much on my plate. Work, I have to be there so many days. And if I'm not there, then I'm not able um, to make enough money to support and to live and to survive. Right? I didn't want to go and mooch off of my parents. I didn't want to do that. As I moved out. I'm good. I got me. And so I was doing that to the best of my ability. And I kept solving problems, started working at an armored car company. And from there, I realized that no matter what job it was, I don't have a college degree. I don't have a lot of experience anywhere as a trade, besides like in the banking industry. And at the armored car company, I was only going to make so much money. And so I was frustrated. To be honest, I was frustrated. I was like, I need to do something. I saw a bunch of pictures of my friend who joined the military, and that really did inspire me to go in and to actually just see my options, because most of the people that I saw that went in, they came out better. Now, if I'm going to do this, right, if I'm going to go in and I'm going to serve my country, I'm going to do it right. I'm going to do it in the service that is the most qualified. People will say it's the dumbest, whatever. I don't care, call us jarheads. I don't care, whatever, right? I wanted to join a branch of service where if I did get into a hostile situation where, I needed to take care of myself and it was life or death, that I would be trained and equipped to come out alive. Where there are a lot of other branches of service that if you're in a certain field like IT, then you don't have to know how to take care of yourself. To be honest, they tell you to duck down, or a lot of them will duck down and hide. So I didn't want to be in that situation, because if push comes to shove, I want to make sure I am alive and I can take care of my family at the end of the day, no matter what it takes. I need to be properly equipped. So I was solving that problem. I went into a field that was very good for getting an outside job, which at that time was like my goal. But going back, I did try other businesses from that time, that I was living on my own, that I was going to school or whatever. It was more towards the end of when I stopped going to school and I was working on my own, and I really just needed to survive. At that point, I was like, I need more income. I need more cash flow. That's when I started trying businesses. That's when I started trying to do things, and where I found out that there's a lot of businesses out there, but not every business is the same. And different businesses are, they take a lot of time, but they don't provide a lot of money. They do provide a lot of knowledge, and you learn a lot of good things, how to talk to people, how to, do form, which is family, occupation, recreation. And then you're able to give your message so that it doesn't seem like you're talking to someone and you have no direction on how to get to the end message, which is ultimately going to be selling your things, service, whatever, right? That's something you learn in sales. And it was just really good. I learned a lot of leadership stuff. I grew as a person more. I understood that, yes, even though I'm not making a whole bunch of money, there are a lot of people who are able to run their own business, and they're able to do it in a successful manner that can give them better quality of life. And it constantly is. And so that opened my eyes for the first time to see that there are opportunities and there are potentials for me to be able to go out there and make a lot more money than I am right now, and ultimately start doing the things that I want to do, which at that point I was looking at the school that I'm going to go to. It's called the Conservatory of Recording Arts and Sciences. It's in Phoenix, Arizona. I was looking at that. Now, I didn't do that because I was like, I don't want to go into a bunch of debt. I don't want to. How am I going to make this work? Well, I'm going to go join the military. That will give me a little bit more time to figure out what I want to do with my life. And, worst case scenario, I stay in for 20 years and, that's not a bad career. And so I went in and, I wanted to at least broaden my experience in the workforce and in just all aspects. And so I went in, I learned a lot of good stuff. I could go out, work a job and make $100,000 a year if I really wanted to, anywhere from 70 to 100,000 a year. But as I told you before in the previous podcast, I found out that whether I'm working a job or whether I'm working, in the military, or whether I'm working as a contractor, that it's very time demanding. And what I was doing was not something that I really felt called to do. It was not something that I honestly enjoyed doing each and every day. And so I personally do not agree with doing something that you hate just to provide the benefits to your family, because at the end of the day, you have to do that, right? Why are you sacrificing your own personal happiness to be able to do something that is just going to give you a money gain? Like, just making money is not good enough. I've seen a lot of rich people that are still depressed, that are still pissed off, that are still frustrated with their life. And I don't think making a whole bunch of money is going to make a big difference. But living within your calling, that is totally different, right? If you do that and you're able to enjoy what you're doing, whether you're making 50,000 or 100,000, doesn't matter. But as long as you're able to live a comfortable life doing the things that you really feel called to do, I honestly think that is when you are truly happy. And that is when you are truly excited about living each and every day. And that's what I'm striving for. That's what I'm going for. And I constantly, since being in this business that I've started a couple years ago, I've constantly had to solve more problems. The first problem was starting a business in the first place. How do I make enough money to learn how to create something on my own? Do I trust that paying $99 every single month to learn something is worth it? That was a risk I was willing to take. And so I solved that problem. But then I got in, I was like, well, how do I actually start making more money? I'm going to have to pay money towards advertising, towards, promoting the products that I'm promoting so that I can make a commission, affiliate commission. How do I do that? And so I had to figure that out. How do I budget correctly to get the things that I want? And then the last, but definitely not least thing is when we started this Amazon automation journey and this service that we literally paid into to have a company run the majority of our Amazon business for us. It cost a lot of money up front, like a lot of money, like tens of thousands of dollars, a lot. And I did not have that money. I did not have the capital. I did not have anything to be able to do that. But I did have a vision. I did have a dream. I did have a goal of where I wanted to go. And that was enough. The why is so huge in achieving that success in your life, because if you don't have it, you will never progress from where you are now in this place and to where you want to go. So that why was really just pushing me on to achieve what I needed to achieve, solving the problems that I needed to solve. I literally reached out, tried to get a LLC credit card from everyone. Everyone said no. I literally tried to get a personal credit card or a personal loan, and know what everyone said? They said no. And at that point, it was so easy to just say, okay, well, this isn't going to work, and just stop. But I just kept figuring things out. I'm like, okay, if that's not going to work, then how can we make it work? Okay, we're going to have to pay off my debt. Okay, we're going to have to get my credit score boosted. Once my credit score is boosted, more people will want to give me credit. I'll apply for a bunch of credit. And then once that credit comes in, then I can purchase the ability to join this automated Amazon store. That's not it. I still had to figure out how to fund a business $5,000 to $15,000, a month, so that I could fund anywhere from $5,000 all the way up to $30,000 every single month, since Amazon pays out every 2 weeks. So there was just a lot of solving problems. But what I've learned is that I'm not the only person who has problems. Everyone has problems in their life. It doesn't matter in what area. It could be in your relationships. It could be in your finances. It could be in your happiness. It could be in, finding your calling. Like, there's multiple different things that we have to solve problems for to be able to accomplish things. Let me start off with relationship first. When you get into any relationship, whether this is with your family, whether this is with your spouse, whether this is with a girlfriend, boyfriend, whether this is with, in-laws, whether this is with just people with different mindsets, people who view things differently than you, there's going to be constant problems. And you can either cut that relationship off, or you can find out how to solve the problems that you currently have so that you can keep having a healthy relationship. I think the more problems you solve in that area, the easier it will be to go to work each and every day. The easier it will be for you to go out and create a business. Because if your home front isn't in order, how are you supposed to do anything else? That is truly like a huge question I have to ask. But on top of that, like for me, we made it our goal to help out 100 families this year. Have we helped out 100 families yet? No, we have not. Are we close? Definitely not. We're probably as far off as you can be to helping out those families. But have I had good, meaningful conversations with a lot of people? Yes. And I'm very optimistic that we're going to be able to help them get what they need. Why? Because we are solving the problems for them. A lot of people don't know how to solve their own problems. The biggest way that you can make money is to solve other people's problems for them. That can be in a working out program that you've created yourself. That can be in a meal prep program. That can be in relationship problems or issues, or that can be in creating a business for yourself or for other people that is tested and true, tried and true. Don't go out there and do it just to gain money, because at the end of the day, time will expose you. It will tell you whether you are doing it for the right reasons or whether you're doing it just to make money, make profit, and to screw everyone else over. That's going to affect your brand. That's going to, tamper with where you're going and what you're doing. And if you have a bad name around your brand and you're not legitimate, you're not honest, you're not actually trying to help people out, they will see. So when you go and do this, look at it from the other person's perspective. How are they feeling? Are they upset? Are they frustrated? Are they in a place where, they need you to assist them because they don't know how to do it themselves? That's where you walk alongside and you walk with this person. You help them overcome the issue that they're having so that they can achieve success too. The more you do that, I can guarantee the more money you will make. You will make so much more money if you are honestly helping people out with their problems. If you can continuously practice how to solve your own problems, like I've seen personally firsthand, if you can continuously do that and solve your own problems, it will assist you in solving other people's problems. And once you do that, you can create a course around it and you can make a full-time income doing that in your own life. How cool is that? I think it is just absolutely amazing. And it is something that you cannot, disregard. It's something that you cannot put aside, because when you are doing it in your own life, you're growing each and every day. Once that problem is put aside, once you've learned how to accomplish it, once you learn how to overcome it, then you're literally able to overcome that same thing faster the next time it comes up. Boom, it comes up. You're like, oh my gosh, that That problem is difficult. How am I going to overcome that, right? Like a funding option. How is that going to happen? It's so difficult, right? And then once you accomplish it, like once I accomplished it for getting the Amazon automated business up and running and being able to pay the service provider to get started, literally everything with it has become 10 times easier. Right now, we're in a place where we need a business credit card. We need the funding to be able to do that. My personal credit looks bad. Why? Because I'm using all my capital to run the business. So I just need to transition that personal stuff to a business credit card. It is 10 times easier for me to do that right now because I solved that first hurdle. That first hurdle helped me be able to know how to do it the second time around. And so it is just very, very important. It's very crucial to the way that you are able to make money. It's very crucial to your success. It's very crucial to your emotional happiness. It's very crucial to your relationships around you. If you are a person who hates solving problems, it's going to be hard to progress and to honestly accomplish the things that you are striving for. Once you can figure out how to overcome those hurdles, once you can figure out how to solve those problems and you are excited, you're like, oh, another problem came up. Okay, cool. You're like, let's go in. I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's do it. Like once I solve this, it's going to unlock more doors. It's going to unlock more opportunities. It's going to unlock more things for me. It's going to unlock more success for me, but not just for me, for the people around me, because I can show them how to do that too. That is why it is so good and so beneficial to solve more problems. Guys, if you found value from this podcast, like the podcast and share it. Share it to someone else because it makes me smile like I am right now. If you want to reach out to me, if you want to have a conversation, I would love to chat. The best way to do that is to go to facebook.com/tobias.johnson.716. Reach out to me. We can chat. We can have conversations to see how you can get something started in your life that could honestly change the entire course of it. But anyways, guys, let's go out there. Let's revive our lives together. Let's get it done. And until the next podcast episode, have a good one.